average pendency before you get a substantive response from the patent office is 17 and a half months. So you file that application, 17 and a half months down the road, you're going to get your first office action that's going to say, more often than not, it's we're rejecting the claims, these are the prior art you cited, and you have to make some kind of distinctions or fine-tune the claims. It's unusual for them to accept it on the first go-around, but it happens. I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that, yeah, it's. Well, I think sometimes it's when you're negotiating with somebody and they accept right away, you wonder, did I not ask for enough? And the average total pendency before it's issued or abandoned. So the two outcomes in general are that they give you a notice of allowance, the patent's going to issue, or you abandon, you give up the application because they've cited prior art that's exactly dead on. You think the claims are too narrow to be worth pursuing any further, and that's 26.7 months without a request for continued examination. What that means is you get your non-final and your final rejection, 2 bites at the apple, and then that's one round, and you can request to continue examination, you pay a fee and you get another round, and you can keep doing that. So if you go through the 2 rounds, it goes 26.7 months. If you have at least one request for continuing examination, the average is 57.9 months. So there can be quite a range of time. And the other factor that can affect how long that pendency time is what art unit it is. Things like the business method group, I don't know what it's now, but there's a huge demand of applications relative to the number of examiners, and some of them can be relatively short and some of them can be longer. So that can factor in. Now, that's in general, that's the standard situation, but sometimes you have investors that, they're not happy with the fact that you just have an application on file. They don't know whether it's going to issue, they don't know what the scope of the claims are going to be when it issues, and they want to see that, and maybe they're resistant to investing. Maybe you expect that you'll get more interest when you can show them that you have an issued patent with a particular set of claims that they can see are valuable. You may know that there are infringers existing already that you want to start suing, so you're in a rush to get this patent issued. So you can ask for prioritized examination and pay a fee, and it goes a lot faster. So you file the application, you request a petition for prioritized examination. It's granted with 1.3 months on average. You get a substantive response within 2.1 months, and a final disposition 6.5 months later. So within a year, you could have a patent if you pay for this prioritized examination. So now the final disposition, just to clarify, is not the same as pendency before issued abandoned. Final disposition means you get the non-final and final rejection. You can still file RCE after that. If they are still rejecting it after that 6.5 months, you may have to continue to argue it with another RCE. But if they do it in those first 2 rounds, you can have the patent within a year. It certainly starts that analysis much more quickly than the standard conditions. And here's another area where whether you're a small entity or a micro entity plays in. So if you're a normal company, it costs $4K to do the prioritized examination, small entity $2K, and a micro entity $1K.